In this video, I'm going to go through an example of how we can use Sparklines within Excel. This is going to be a way to get a quick visualization. It's particularly helpful for trends or cases where you don't need a full insert of a chart within your workbook or within your model. So let's say that we have this data about the number of products that were sold in January, February, March, and April with these like 4 different types of candy. So let's say we want to be able to see for each type of candy the trends that occurred over these first 4 months. In order to do the sparkline, I usually typically will pick on the cell where I want it to show up. So let's say we want it to show up to the left of this, or excuse me, to the right of this data. In order to put the sparkline in, we'll go to the Insert tab. And then if you go over, so like here's where we normally do our charts. If we continue over, you'll see the section that is entitled Sparklines, and there's gonna be 3 different options. So you have a line, a column, or like a win-loss. We're just gonna start with a simple line, and then I'll show you the other examples here in a second. For the line version of a sparkline, we can pick our data. So let's say that we wanna be able to see it, again, for Skittles for those 4 months. And then we're just gonna output it in that cell I had clicked before, which is gonna be F3. And all you have to do is hit OK, and it's going to insert that sparkline. If I want to apply the same type of graph or sparkline to these other 4 types of candy, I can just drag it down or copy and paste it down. And that's going to show me the trends for each of these. So it gives, again, a little quick visualization of the data points across the months or across whatever row category you're dealing with. For this sparkline, if you want to take it and change any of the formatting, there's a bunch of options you can do over here. For example, you could have different axis labels. You can change the color if you want of the sparklines. There's going to be marker options. So let's say you want to identify what was the highest point. And so you could add kind of that if we want. So if we picked highest point, it's going to put a dot at like the highest observation. So for M&Ms, it was here. For Skittles, it was here. So it's going to kind of carry those through. For Kit Kats, it was the first observation. So that's one option as well. So there's a lot of different kind of customizations that you can do within this Sparkline tab that pops up in the ribbon. If you wanted to do it using the bar one, so let's go back to our insert and then columns. And so this is going to be a column sparkline. So again, it's like a mini chart that's placed. And so similar steps would be where I could pick the data that I want and then input the column version of it right next to the others. If I want to copy and paste this down, I could do that again. So just with copy paste, or you could drag. And then similarly, if I want to change any of the formatting or the style, I could do that under this well selected. This like Sparkline tab is going to show up and show you a bunch of different types of options for how you might want to have the Sparkline look. And then the last one I'll show you is going to be that win-loss one. This one's not going to look that great for the data that we have, but let's still do it anyways. So we have our data, and then we have our win-loss, and we'll put this in column H, and I hit OK. And then if I just, again, copy, paste, or drag down, it doesn't really look like much. And the reason is going to be that it does like a positive-negative break. So if I went here and made this a -2, and like a -3, then it's going to change this. So it changes obviously the line and column graphs, but it also makes this kind of like positive-negative breakpoint. So this could be helpful if you're dealing with something like returns or company losses or profits. So that could also come into play or be helpful in those cases. But for all of them, you can go in, again, play with some of this customization, but those, again, are quick ways of showing like visual trends of data. So they're not nearly as involved as when we inserted the main charts like our other examples. So again, just another fun option that you can use within your Excel models to give yourself a quick visualization.